Hey there, so I will keep this tutorial straight to the point. So I looked for a solution on the internet. Unfortunately, I found nothing. And since 3D Studio Max has updated its color management system, so as you can see, I actually sculpted this hand model inside of ZBrush, and then I did the ray topology here inside Max. Unfortunately, I kind of baked the textures outside of Max. Like this only works when you bake textures inside 3ds Max. You don't get artifacts or something. Unfortunately, I only have 16 gigabytes of RAM on my machine, so when I start to render this, sorry, when I wanted to bake it, I mean, I baked it inside of ZBrush itself, the normal maps and everything. So I will give it a quick render, and like if you bring out textures from Maya, Topogun, and other programs, 3ds Max causes an issue. So this hand is being baked right now, the normal map, and you will see that we get this little artifact here, right where your UV seams are. It starts to show this little seam all the time. So I will select my hand model, come here, apply an unwrap UV modifier right there. And you can see that that's where the seams are. So I will just change my camera angle a little bit, and then I will give it a render. Like this also happens sometimes when you bake inside Max 2. It starts to do it. You can see here if you match the seam of the UVs, you will see that you get a shading error there. So I have like a multi and sub object here, and I have applied two separate textures to it. So I exported the same model here inside Blender. I did not have a copy of Autodesk Maya, so I could not test it there. I sent it to a friend. Unfortunately, he did not have the time to check back. So you can see here it's the same model, same normal map applied, and you can see a very light hint of the seam being there, but that's because there are like two different shaders applied, and they have a little bit of shading difference, but you can't really like tell there. It looks like perfectly fine. There isn't that obvious seam error. Even when I come here inside the viewport, I have a point light here inside of Blender. You can see that that seam is not visible here at all. So now sometimes when you export to Unity or some other game engines, it looks fine. But what if you like wish to make this correction within the game, sorry, not the game engine, inside Max itself? So as you can see, I will actually change it. Unfortunately, I don't know much navigation inside Blender because every time I try to select the light, it just does not let me. So I have to move it using those coordinates. Here we are. And okay, I'm just going to move it right there. And let me just come here quickly. Hold on a second. And let's zoom in. Yeah, so you can see that. Okay, my bad. Let me, again, I apologize. Yep, you can see that seam is not visible here at all. Meanwhile, in the viewports of Max, where's our last rendered image, you can see that seam is very obvious. So the solution is simple. You need to just reapply your textures. So come over here to customize, go to preferences. Hold on, it will take a brief moment. Now you do not have to change anything. People say change these or something. Now if your normal map itself is a hard jagged one, you will notice there used to be a gamma LUT here, but they have changed the color management system. So come here, click color management. Come here again, click this. You will notice this all of this here. You can leave this all as it is if you want to, or just simply come here, choose the gamma workflow, and make sure it's set to 1.0. It will be 2.2 by default. Like this, make sure it's 1.0. Now the instant you set it to 1.0, this will be like most of the time that your textures will render correctly. These artifacts won't show, but they're still there. I know I'm just showing it to you. So you will see that that extremely peak brightness we get, that is gone. And also those black artifacts that we get usually, like everything else looks extremely bright. Now you can see that the shading is okay. The seam is still there, like the normal bump is rendering correctly as well. And you just simply need to go to your shader. Here I am inside the slate material editor. I will pick the material here. You can see I have a multi and sub object, and it's just simple. So one thing you can do here is to check your normal maps. As I come here in the setting of my normal map, you can see over here is that, sorry, wait a second, where was it? Yeah, sorry, in my normal bump node, you need to flip the green channel sometimes because it causes that issue, but that's not what we're here for. You will simply just come here, come to this bitmap thing. You see this is the texture for my upper part. You just need to come here, reselect the texture. You see it said automatic, click override, make sure it's set to 1.0, or you can like turn this down to 0.6 or even make this completely 0 if you want to. It's like entirely up to you. When it's 0, it will be like completely white and nothing will show up. So I will just show you this briefly here, but you should leave it at 1.0. You see it becomes just dull. It's rendering correctly now. The seam would be fixed as well. The lower seam would exist, but you can see like the shading is better, but it's all dull now. So just leave it at 1.0. Again, I will just select my texture, come here again, click there, select my hand texture, and just leave it at 1 as it was, a fully 1.0. Okay, hold on a second. It will just re-import. Okay, okay, it's done. Now for the lower part, you need to do this for all the normal maps. There's my final palm one, override, and hit open image. It will take a brief second. Yep, it's rendering, and there, it's done. That's it. And your seam is fixed now. So I will render this again. And you can see that the seam issue is gone. This is a bug since 3ds Max 2013 and 2014 version. Autodesk did a really brilliant job screwing everything up. You can still see a very dull, very minute value here, but that's not because of the texture itself. That's actually a problem within my shaders, and I will show you that. I mostly work with the compact one. So if I come over here, you can see that this is 24 and 30. And if I scroll down, my bump is set to 100. Okay, 24, 30, and 100. If I come here, yep, it's also 24, 30, and my bump is set to 80 here. So that's what's causing that indifference. So I will make this 100 as well. So they're equal. Now you will notice there won't be much difference in between them, and the seam won't really be visible. You see that? The seam isn't there anymore. Like there's still a very slight hint, very minute, but you guys get the idea. So it's like almost gone there. So I will just collapse this. I don't need that anyway. Collapsing it won't do anything, but I just don't like the green seam showing up. And yep, you can see that that error is completely fixed now. It works for all the models. So hope you like this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it.